Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a nice day. So I'm back with another VR. Hopefully the audio on my computer doesn't go all squirrely like it did for the other VRs. It did in some places, and apparently a few people had problems, especially if they were viewing on a phone. And I'm so sorry for that. So I'm hoping that this is working and it's recording. The sound appears to be working. I'm looking at everything. I'm hoping that this works out. So, this one is Get to Know Your Witches and a witch tag. I saw on Brian Cormac Carr's channel today, or he posted a couple days ago, that he was doing a VR with 15 questions, Get to Know Your Witches. That was started by Little Cosmic Crows. I've been watching them today, kind of in the background, listening to the different videos, and I decided to try to do one myself. So we'll see how this goes. Okay, so first one, does your sun sign, Zodiac Sign, portray you correctly? I think it does. So I'm a Sagittarius, and I say that in the fullest sense. My ascendant, my sun, and my moon are all Sagittarius. Now, depending on the house system that you may use, I do sometimes dip into Scorpio, which is weird. Like, I'll look up when in my paper, wherever they get their horoscopes from, like a newspaper horoscope. Sometimes it says I'm Scorpio. Well, I found out as I've learned more about astrology that means that astrologer is using a different house system. Well, but I found the majority, the tropical, I'm Sagittarius through and through, and even on the different ones, I'm mostly Sagittarius. And a lot of my planets, it's like the wheel stopped that day, and everybody crashed. They picked themselves up and said, "We'll never do this again." So a lot of my planets are in Sagittarius as well. The one that's not, and is kind of hanging out there all by themselves, is my Jupiter, my ruling planet, is in Taurus. So yeah, I am blunt, I'm to the point, I am in your face, I'm annoying, but I'm really grounded. I'm really doing projects. I see things through. They may take a long time because Taurus is kind of, plotty here and there. Yeah, I think it does. What songs bring you the most? Number 2, what songs bring you the most magical vibes? I have a strange relationship with music. I love it. But there's some very important things. The tune has to be good, which is subjective, I know, but it has to be good. And if the song has words, the words have to be good also. So if the tune is awesome, and there are a lot of these out there, and the words are racist, sexist, just plain disgusting, or just stupid, I will not know that song, and I will actually be very sad when I hear those songs. But there's quite a few that I like. I really like musicians who channel in the alchemy of symbolism and just really, literature and sometimes magical systems. So if one song I love hearing, and every time I find a new version of it, I stick it on my thing. I stick it in my playlist in Spotify. Is Passion, and the various versions of, it's also called Hikaru, Sanctuary, and the words change a little bit, the tune changes a little bit, but it's basically Kingdom Hearts. You know what I'm talking about. If you played Kingdom Hearts and you've heard these songs, Hikaru Utada sings some of them, but there's definitely a lot of covers out there, a lot of instrumental versions. I have this over and over again throughout all my playlists. But other than that, Bowie and Sting, big fans. um, that includes the Police in Sting's case and Tin Machine in Bowie's place. That beep is my dinner saying it's done. And it was supposed to be taking longer. Give me just a second. I have to put down my table. My table is up and down. Just 1 second. I tell her to keep company. Oh my goodness. Okay, sorry, I had to take that out. Let me pull my table back up. Because I have this lovely coffee table which goes up and down and doubles as a desk, which is good so I can move my working spaces around. Okay. So yeah, Bowie and Sting. There's others, like I love Elton John. I'm Still Standing is just my jam. But I don't classify music in ranges, so I listen to just about anything from forever onward. And I am always looking for new music and new songs. Another one, a big one for me is Yoko Ono. I can hear the groans now. But honestly, this woman is brilliant. And if you need some affirmation, reaffirmation, revelations, check out the song by Yoko Ono, Revelations. Her work with the Bleachers, I'm Ready to Move On. I mean, the woman is fantastic. And I don't care what messed up vibe you have from the Beatles, but Yoko Ono is just amazing. And in my Yes playlist, which I'll go ahead and link down here, which is the playlist I listen to when I need to hear the word yes, because I'm being told no so much and so often, and I need something to tell me yes. I have a playlist for that, and I have a few of her songs and collaborations in there. But she's a big one, really. Who else? There's so many. I mean, I love so many. Bleachers is just an amazing band. I love their work. I hope they put out more stuff. They had 2.5-ish albums. So one album, a remix and redoing of all their songs with different singers, mostly female. And then a new album. And they just did MTV Unplugged, I saw, so I may have to check out some of those versions. Oh my gosh, just so much. There are so many. V&V Nation. Amazing. Their newest album, Noir, came out a few months ago, or earlier this year at least. And it's just... it is their best album yet. I just listen to those songs over and over again. Really, some of their best since Automation. There are so many songs I listen to. I'm trying to think who else. There's just so many. Okay, I can go on for this forever. Music is just such a big part of my life. I'm always carrying it with me, always going on. My current platform of choice is Spotify, just because I have access to anything and everything. And they also let me bundle Hulu with that, and the price is pretty low. So I did do a family plan for my daughter, but my daughter likes YouTube better. So, and because they just play the videos and don't watch the videos, they just listen to them. So that's a big thing. Okay, number 3. Which one of your deities, guides, ancestors are most sarcastic with you? If this doesn't apply to you, which is your tarot oracle decks is. Okay, so a big belief of mine is that deities don't fucking care. And in fact, if they are caring, if they're pinpoint on you, if they are talking to you, then you better get your shit in order, because you're in trouble. And you don't call down or invoke or deal with powerful deities such as that. You know, these beings can break your world. And that is what all the mythology tells us. That's what all the stories tell us. And it, just calling down the, like, no. So that is not part of my witchcraft. That doesn't mean I don't venerate certain deities, but that's different. Tarot oracle decks, I don't get a lot of sass from those, but I will tell you what I get sass from. I feel like I need to start posting. Can you see this? Let me see if I can get it up there. Yeah. Posting like with little signs around this guy's neck that say, "This asshole told me stuff." Like, that's my relationship with this pendulum, and he's already going into a no there. So I got this guy because, and I talked about him a bit in another video that I don't know I'll have uploaded yet, but I lost my pendulum and I thought it was gone, and I was so sad. And it was a metal pendulum. It came with the pendulum kit. I believe you can still buy it, but I had replaced the chain and the stone at the top of it with the hematite, and I loved it. I loved it so much. It was this shape. It was a, just in steel, silver color. And I was devastated, and I loved it. So I saved up some money to buy a new one, but everywhere I went, they had stone ones. They had ones with no sharp point. They had bead ones, Sculpey one, like all kinds, and none of them really spoke to me. They just weren't ones like I wanted the sharp point and this teardrop shape. And it took me forever, but I finally found this guy. And if he has like chakra stones, I don't know if you can see that there. But this guy is like a little snake. And he's great, and I love him for his own things, but he's definitely, probably, if you want to talk about sarcasm and sass, this guy right here. Funnily enough, a few months afterwards, I found my old one. But I couldn't bring myself to retire him, so I use both of them now and for different things. And I love my old one. I'm actually currently carrying this one around with me in a little pouch that the original one came in. But they have little boxes that they sit in on my working altar. So there you go. Let's see. Biggest witchy mess up or misinterpretation. I'm going to have to say, okay, so I don't go to a lot of public things because a lot of those tend to be Wiccan, which I am not. But I did go to, especially when I first came to Denver, I used to go to a group called Sunday at Mother's. And they're going to do a big surgical ritual. Would have been the first one I went to in a long time. And there were so many mess ups and screw ups. I was supposed to pick someone up and bring them there, and I forgot. Even though I confirmed that day, I completely forgot. And this was before cell phones were really prevalent, so there's no way to get a hold of each other. I completely forgot. And that person basically never spoke to me again after that, which is really sad and totally my fault. The other thing is I had my daughter with me, and at the time, she was very young. And so the way that this worked is everyone was walking around the circle, but there are these stations to stop at and do different things. And there's one for the children. And as they were bringing around their cone of power, I was going through. My daughter let go of my hand, and she kind of got overwhelmed. And the people behind me, I kind of got caught up in the crowd, and I couldn't go back. I'd be going the wrong direction. I didn't go back. I ran around the circle as fast as I could to get back to my daughter and set her up. And I basically didn't let people push me through to the next as they were trying to do. And I know a lot of people complained about that. Later, a few of us wanted to start a writing group. And definitely not the organizers, but there were people there who were angry that we did that. And I think that's part of it. They thought I was very disrespectful. But that's neither here nor there. The organizers, the people of the house, they were very lovely. And the group just kind of disappeared. I'm not really sure what happened. Though, one of them I follow here on YouTube, and it's kind of nice to see her and hear her talking again, so that's kind of cool. Anyway, number 5. How would you write a book on your craft or spirituality, and why? And if you already have, what were your challenges in doing so? I would love to do this. And honestly, my challenges are, I don't think I have enough for a book. So on my site, I'm going to try to release some free things, and I want to upload a reformatted version. So the first thing is a PDF on a list of symbolism, mostly having to do with the modern spellcaster's tarot. And maybe I'll get things into a book or into a collection. I don't know. I've always wanted to create a tarot deck. In fact, I have a whole book of research on doing a Greek deities, Greek mythos tarot deck. Just because the mythic tarot, tarot of the Olympians, isn't that they don't quite do it, and they don't do it with the Rider-Waite system. So I basically call it my Golden Bough deck. But I don't think I could do the art for this one. So I might put together a booklet on that and that research that I did, fitting the deities and the myths with the Rider-Waite system. But I have written 3 fiction books. I am currently revising the first one again. The second one is done. My biggest block is getting it submitted. I need to sit down and write query letters and get it submitted. I want to be traditionally published. That has been one of my dreams. I have quite a few short stories published. Lots of nonfiction. I did a lot of tech writing and things like that back in the day, and supported myself that way for 2 years. But I'd love to get those books published, and I don't really know. It's hard to tell. I don't know what to do. I'm not a convention person. I want to be. I always want to be. And I used to be one for at least gaming, but fan conventions, I'm really afraid. Part of the reason why I decided to start doing these videos is to kind of face my fear of talking to people, and this gives you a little bit of safety. There's behind the glass, and I really appreciate the comments that I've been getting, and it's just so lovely. And even the criticisms, like I said, hopefully the sound is better. I did work on it. We'll see. But yeah, there's definitely things I want to write. I mean, my own craft is my own, and I think a lot of things out there are Wicca based. And when I do come across a witchcraft book, I'm always very surprised, but always pleasantly so. If someone wanted to summon you to circle, what 5 items would they need? Tea, rum, savory like onion dip and potato chips. I know there's a theme. Stones or crystals. And just some lovely fantasy books. Like, I know there are things I'm drawn to. If you know me, those are the things that I love. I love. I have a tea problem. I am currently on a tea buying moratorium, which means I must drink all the tea in my house before I am allowed to buy more. That's tough. But I've been very good about it. I need to go on a tarot buying moratorium, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle that. Anyway. Number 7. If you were a ghost, what place would you haunt? If I were a ghost, I would haunt... Gosh, there's so many places. You know, I would want to haunt an old bookstore. The kind with the books stacked to the ceiling and piled everywhere, and yeah. What is the, number 8, what is the funnest way someone has reacted to finding a witch? No one's really reacted. People are just like, yeah. I mean, I think I started calling myself actually pagan in high school. And I would tell people this and be like, yeah, that's you. And I forget who I've told. Like, I was working on some Book of Shadows stuff for today, so, and I was working on it while I was in my writing group. And one person goes, that's really pretty. What is that? I was like, you know, I'm pagan. Yeah. Oh, okay. That's my book shows. Okay. So I guess the funny reaction is that nobody cares, which is fine. And that's actually great, because I don't have to deal with the heartache. My family has a weird relationship with religion to begin with. I think the only people who would worry too much about it basically gave up when I had to write a short story on hell in like high school, and my cousin blacked out all the bad words. Yeah, that sucked, having to redo my homework. But anyway, funny, and that's a story for a different time. But my family, funny relationship with religion overall. And what I did have growing up was the providence of other people freaking out about it rather than my actual family. But I don't think anybody should be surprised by this point. Some people have talked to me about it, but just mostly to ask me questions and stuff. But everybody's been cool. Do I have any superstitions? Yeah. I mean, I think I need to, like, and I don't know, like, new moon is always time to go clean stuff. You should always, I always leave out a little bit of alcohol for spirits and ancestors. I don't like spilling salt. I think black cats are good luck. And if I were to get another cat, it would be a black cat. I'm not worried about, like, numbers, I'm not against the number 13 or the number 4, but I tend to think those ones are more magical, but my relationship with death is a lot different than other people's. Covering my mouth, you probably can't hear me. I would say yes, I'm superstitious. I don't like stepping on cracks. But not always in the same way as other people. Like, I don't hold with any tarot superstitions. No wrapping in silk. No special but then at the same time, like, I like to have my decks blessed and consecrated and, yeah. Okay, number 10. If you could possess any fantasy magic, what power would it be? Power to be invisible. Yeah. What is something random on your altars? So I have quite a few altars, so I just picked something at random, and mostly because we are in altar upheaval. My ancestor altar is all set up. My spirit altar, my god's altars, those are all fine. But I'm redoing my doorway crossroads altar, and I'm redoing my main working altars, expanding into a full tarot altar, which I'm so excited about. But that's, again, for the video. But, so things are everywhere. So I just pulled the first thing, and that would be this. This is probably not what you think it is. This is my book of names. So when I consecrate an object and set it up for magical working, I find out its name, and I record it in this book. And so I'm a big believer that knowing the names of things and people give you power over them. Probably because names are something that are very hard for me when I think about it. This is specifically my book of names. And so everything that is named, my magical workings, is in here. So yeah. And that is on my altar. On my working altar. If one of the YouTubers watches a genie, they can grant you 3 wishes. Who would it be? Oh gosh, this is so hard. Wishes. So what really drew me back to doing on YouTube, and I need to set up like gaming time, do some gaming videos. you'll see some of those on there. And I want to play more No Man's Sky because I love it so much. And I have some painting I want to do, but what really drew back, and I've always wanted to come back to this, is I was looking for ideas. I think I mentioned this in a few other videos. So I was looking for ideas on Book of Shadows, and I knew that I wanted my Book of Shadows to be a working tool, that it was a magical object that I'd be working with. It's not just someplace I'm dumping stuff like a journal. It's not just a record or recipe, it's more than that. It's this working thing. And I've been slowly building things that I wanted to put in it. I have a billion notebooks, have files and everything. And I'd started really making concrete, because I'm at that point in my life where I'm like, I know what needs to be in here. I need to have these things on a normal basis, and I don't need to be recreating them. They can be a consecrated part of this book. And I was looking and watching a lot of YouTube videos on it that I've done from time to time, and I ran into Benabel Wen's channel and her book of methods, and that's very similar to what I've been putting together, and I was just enthralled by that. And just a lot of things that I've noticed, besides her deep fascination with tarot, which I am always a fan of. Just, though we definitely do things very differently, very, very differently. I definitely connected with how she consecrates things, how she treats magical objects. And just the way, some of her belief systems were things that I was doing also on my own in a different way. I wouldn't say a more Western system. That's not right, because she's definitely very solid in her Western esotericism. So I don't really know how to do this. Like, there's a few that I want to follow. Yeah, I know you want to restart. Sorry. So there's a few I follow, but let's say, so I guess I'll just do, I'll say, if she could grant a wish, just a download of the knowledge in her head to mine. We'll say that. Now I'm going to cheat a little bit and kind of move on, because I feel like getting 3 wishes from one person feels greedy in a way, because she's very open and everything, and is already I feel amazingly gifted to be able to have gotten a copy of her Spirit Keeper's Tarot and started working with that, and she just gives so much on her site. It's like she's already granting wishes. The other thing would be the Witch of Wonderlust. I think that she's a very amazingly strong person. Again, very different practices. But just, I would love to talk to her about magical things while we're drinking tea. Who else? There's just so many YouTube. Oh my gosh, I would love to go to a Tarot UK meetup and just meet the various UK tarot YouTubers out there, because I am just such a big fan of their videos and stuff. So there's a lot of them. Some of them I mentioned, some of them I've done VR for. So, okay, I guess that would be weird. Not crazy wishes, I guess. If you instantly become an expert in any part of your craft spiritually, what would it be? Astrology. I have a big problem with patterns. They're really hard for me to... Some of them are a lot harder than others, let's say. So if there's a picture, I can deal with that on an easier level than I can with words and numbers. And even if I watched a movie a million times, I can very rarely quote it off the top of my head. And I often think of the quote much later than most people would, or have to be reminded, or have some mnemonic that tells me. So an astrology is like that. I have been studying it for years, and I can look at it and go, I know what this means, and not have anything come. So I have to constantly refer to my reference materials on that. And I have done natal charts for people, but I don't feel comfortable. I wouldn't ever charge for them or anything like that at this point, just because I feel like one natal chart takes me so long to do. I just recently had my natal chart done again by this lovely company, Zen and Meow on Etsy. And I completely screwed it up because I kept reading, yes, that's my natal birth. No, and I ordered a companion's chart, and that is wrong. And they were delightful and fixed my order and sent me what I asked for, and they etched my chart on this beautiful wooden disc and gave me a wonderful report. Well, as wonderful as a Sag can be. But I was really grateful they do that. And I think it's important to have your own charts done. And I really would like to understand and be able to do transitive astrology, but I can't. It's getting my head around it to make it happen has been very, very difficult for me. So I would love to just become an instant expert in that and just be able to do it. When you die, what do you think will happen to your soul? I don't know. I'm very agnostic in that area. And when it comes to religion, I don't pretend to know, and I think it's pretentious to pretend we know. I have a big issue with the Christian death cult, especially how it relates to the politics in our country. And I do not buy into the idea that what we do in this life doesn't matter as long as we're working towards the next. That I think is complete bullshit. What we do matters now. I would like to believe that there is some grand different adventure. Either we come back as something completely different, learn a whole new lesson, or that we go on to somewhere else and just start a whole new adventure. That's actually that last one, where we go on to a whole new adventure somewhere else. That's what I would like to believe. But honestly and truly, I really don't know. And I don't have the hubris to say that I do. And then the last one, where do you see yourself spiritually in the next 5 years? I hate next 5 years questions. Where do I see myself? Hopefully in a better place. Hopefully I'm always working towards and being in a better place. Spiritually, I don't know. Hopefully moving on with my path. I'm pretty comfortable with it at this point. Just getting better and hopefully sharing more. Myself, I hope to be more financially stable. I'm very close. I'll say that. Wow, those list questions got deep. Well, so I'm going to keep looking for these on YouTube, and I hope that you enjoyed this. Got to know each other better. I mean, I love these kind of things. They're kind of fun. And I know that this one came up a while ago, but people are still doing it. So, and since Brian Cormac Carr just tagged you in his, I thought I'd do it. So, yeah, cool. It's a lot of fun. And I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you for listening.